What is up, heathens? How are you guys doing today? I'm doing fairly good, fairly decent. Till I saw this ultra cancerous video.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries. And today, I want to talk about macroevolution again because it's so funny to talk about.
Oh, can you feel it? It's the cancer. It's working in really good and is getting all up in every single organ, even on my eyes right now because he's just cancerous. Welcome, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at this GMan video that is bona fide going to give you cancer. Way to go, GMan. You are the cause of cancer. Internet cancer.
You know, the people that believe in macroevolution believe that you are uneducated and believe that you need to go to school, and they believe that you are like one of the dumbest people in society.
No, I wouldn't say that I would call you that. I would say that you may be ignorant of the information, which isn't a bad thing. I'm ignorant of a lot of things. It's not a bad thing to admit that you're ignorant of something. If somebody is telling me you're dumb, stupid, and you should feel like crap for not knowing this, then those people are dicks. And dicks exist on both sides of the aisle. So you're not special. Your experience isn't special. It's actually anecdotal, which means that it probably didn't happen to you because we don't have any evidence of it. I'm fairly certain that if it did happen to you, it didn't happen like that.
If you don't believe that you're related to a banana, that you don't share a common ancestor with an orange, that you don't share a common ancestor with peanuts and orangutans and walnuts and dates and almonds.
Actually, any evolutionist out there wouldn't say that you are necessarily related to them. More like, you share, at some point in the past, you share an ancestor, which I guess you could say is like being related to it. It is a very funny comparison to make when you say that Ray Comfort has the 50% of the same genes as a banana, though. That's just hilarious in its own right.
They believe that and if you are educated and you are as smart as them and as enlightened as them, and if you truly understood biological evolution, that, well, somehow you would understand that none of us was created. There is no intelligence involved in creating in human beings being brought here, but instead you evolved from a Tiktaalik creature a long time ago. See, there's a problem with that, though.
Man of cancer on the internet. I can't wait to figure out exactly how wrong that is. Whilst being correct, because Tiktaalik, or however you pronounce that particular creature, it was the first creature to actually walk on land and eventually gave rise to the land mammals that we see today. It did evolve out of fish species that were in the water. It was the first one to exhibit the ability to actually walk on all fours. And, we know that evolutionary theory works because we were able to predict exactly where we would find this creature, around about the time in which it actually lived. So evolutionary theory has the predictive ability in order to tell you these things. But you want to spit in the face of that in favor of a book that quite literally just made the scene in any kind of time scale. But of course the book knows all, right? It's kind of like Sauron in that aspect.
You see, bananas are always going to produce bananas, according to these same evolutionists.
All right, I have a problem with him saying that bananas will only beget bananas or will only produce bananas and all that other kind of stuff, because it's a straw man. He's setting up an impossible task, being that a banana is one day going to give birth to a freaking baby boy or something like that, or Ray Comfort. And I feel like he's not really grasping what evolution means, because he thinks that evolution is spontaneous, that it just all of a sudden happens. Of course, only bananas are gonna produce bananas, are gonna reproduce and reproduce into bananas. These things happen over time, and so as time progresses, at some point it's far enough away from what we know as a banana and becomes something else, right? At that point each one gives off its own, but through all these small changes, there are vast differences. And at some point, it would fail to be able to reproduce with another banana tree. So it essentially becomes a different thing. And I don't think that he grasps this particular concept.
Peanuts are always going to produce peanuts, and oranges are always going to produce oranges. But then they want to try to tell you, that a fish-like creature is going to become something that's not a fish-like creature. Oh, they got in trouble in some debates with Ken Hovind, so they can't say that no more. Now what they got to say is, you never really stopped being a fish-like creature.
Okay, right here, I'm guessing what he's talking about is the fact that we are still apes. We're not still a fish-like creature. The best thing that you can say is that we are still apes, because we are. Homo sapiens are in the great ape family, so we're still apes. That hasn't changed. Like, evolutionists didn't get in trouble with Kent Hovind. It's not like Kent Hovind has any kind of authority at all. I think the best kind of authority he may have had was when he was in prison.
And these educated people, the people that think that you're stupid, believe that you and a fish that you see in the water are relatives.
Well, we're related genetically. Again, he's using the whole relative thing as like this would be an equivocation fallacy, where he's using relative as if it's like a blood relative or something like that, like it's your great grandfather or it's your cousin. But when an evolutionist says relative or cousin or whatnot, we're talking on evolutionary timelines. Like, as far as us being branched from, or all life on Earth being branched from a single-celled organism, we are all related in that way. That would be related genetically. Like, like, for instance, Ray Comfort having 50% of the same DNA that bananas do. Besides the fact that that's just hilarious as fuck, it is true.
No, you're going to see Aunt Susan swimming around that way. Your great grandpappy, swimming upstream, to eventually get eaten by polar bears.
See? What did I tell you? Predictable as fuck.
You know what I mean? And they call this education these days. You know what I mean? This is what the Christian has to deal with these days. That you got to believe that this is a relative of yours in order to be considered educated in this country.
It's hard out here for a Christian, having to provide evidence every day. That second half didn't rhyme, but you get the point. It's ridiculous.
And like I said, I thank God for people like True Empiricism and Kent Hovind and Nephilim Free and Tommy Hall and every other brother or sister in Christ out there that speaks against this ridiculous idea called evolution. I'm just talking to one of my nieces today, and really funny. They was telling me how in school their teachers tried to tell them that they evolved from apes, and all they did was giggle and laugh about it. And the teacher asked them why they were giggling and laughing, because they didn't believe it. I mean, don't get me wrong. When the time came to do their test, they simply put what the teacher told them to put them there, and I would expect them to do that. But they don't believe any of that garbage. There's a lot of children in this area that don't believe in that garbage.
All right, the fact that you see scientific teaching or teaching of verified scientific theories in school to be garbage, I think that says more about you than it does of the evolutionary theory. I feel like the children that you're talking about, I believe you said it was niece and nephew there, they're obviously going to be held back in life. because they have scientifically illiterate people guiding them and telling them not to listen to the people that are teaching them good, solid information. I believe Bill Nye would call this child abuse because you're restricting them from having the best information possible in order to survive in society. I don't know if I would go that far. I would love to know what you guys think in the comments down below. I don't consider that to be child abuse, but it definitely is wrong of you to force this stuff upon children. Yeah, quite the shittiness there, GMan.
They don't believe that this is one of their relatives. You know what I should do one day? You know how I go out there and confront the Hebrew Israelites? I just stop every child out there and ask them, do they believe? When I say child, I mean obviously I'm going to stop somebody who's about 11 or 12 or 13 years old. And ask them, do they believe that they're related to a banana?
I like how he clarifies that there. It's like, no, I mean like 11, 12, 13 years old. When my son's 13 years old, if you're going to stop him and question him about a frickin' banana, I do believe I'm going to kick you in the balls. And I will happily go to jail for it. You don't stop my kid and talk to him about stuff that I don't want you to talk to him about. Okay? It's quite pretentious of you, G-Man, to be like, I should go out there and stop every child and be like, look, you think you're half banana, you little shit? Like, seriously, bro. That is just, that crosses the line there. You don't just go up to somebody's kids and start harassing them about fruit.
And stop evolutionists on the street and say, listen, do you believe that this is your distant relative? And make sure I got it on camera when they answer me. You'd be surprised how many people are embarrassed and ashamed to say some garbage like that.
I am not embarrassed and ashamed to say that we as humans share 50% genetic material with bananas. It's not embarrassing to state scientific facts.
Hey, let's go to Great Adventure to the Wild Safari and go look at our relatives swinging on trees and throwing donkey at each other.
Sounds like a bunch of Christians in a hangout arguing theology because each one has their own different interpretation of the same shit-filled Bible.
It's utterly ridiculous. Then you got some Christians on the internet that are getting mad at me because I'm getting aggressive about talking about this theory of evolution.
See? Bunch of idiots just throwing shit at people.
I'm a Christian. Obviously, I believe that God created me, and I'm fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God. I did not evolve from an ape.
I think he thinks that apes quite literally shit humans out at some point in time.
It's either Jesus is Lord or science is Lord. And I believe that Jesus is Lord.
Nope, false dichotomy. Science has never been Lord. It will never be Lord. And nobody that accepts empirical evidence or the scientific method or science in general would tell you that science is their Lord. If they do, they're trolling you and it's going right over your head. But there are plenty of people that are both Christian and believe in empirical data and science. They just are able to compartmentalize that part of themselves in order for them to not have to deal with the uncomfortable rationality that would entail when they apply that empirical sort of sense to their faith.
And I'm going to continue to believe in a literal creation until someone can prove me wrong.
Which will be never, because you place such impossible standards on this proof that they're never able to be true.
It's not difficult. You're going to sit there and say that a Tiktaalik fish over a long period of time, like evolved into all these different animals or whatever, right? Then you got to be able to show me these transitional fossils in each phase. You keep claiming that there's all this evidence that's out there, even though you never have it.
Yes, man that doesn't believe there are starving children in Africa. There are transitional fossils, and you have been shown them, along with starving children in Africa.
You know, I went to the museum, and I looked at some of these so-called fossils. I'm sorry. Those so-called fossils that they were showing me were either the bone of other human beings with different head features, or they were the fossils of other monkeys or whatever. Or not monkeys, like an ape-like creature or whatever.
How do you think we classify organisms? Like, Do you think? I guess he thinks that like Neanderthals are just other humans. Like that just seems to be what he thinks here. Is that like Neanderthals and other in the Homo genus are actually Homo sapiens, and they just have different head features. That's not how anything works, G-Man.
Like monkeys, gorillas, orangutans, and things like that and whatnot. Then they want to try to claim that this is the steps, of evolution and whatnot. That's just ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous.
Okay, so let me get this straight. We can provide you empirical evidence in order to show you the transitional fossils, and you can just brush that off saying it's ridiculous. Meanwhile, over here we have a book that says that God farted out the universe in some great college prank where he lights his farts on fire and then breathes life into a pile of dirt and then rips a bone out of that pile of dirt and plants it in the ground and grows a woman. But I'm not supposed to be able to just pass that off as ridiculous. Great double standard there, buddy.
So my message out there for people out there that thinks Kent Hovind is somehow going to lose support from Christians and people out there that believe that, I'm going to stop listening to like our Christian leaders. And believe it or not, there's secular leaders out there that don't even believe in evolution. You'd be surprised. You got neo-evolutionists over here and you got Darwinian evolutionists over here. And they can't even agree on what the common ancestor is. They tell you what they think it is and what they think that is and what they hope it is and what they pray for that it is. But they don't really know what it is.
Okay, well, if they're praying for it, then they're Christians or some type of religious person that believe in evolution and they accept evolution, and they're Christians. Also, we don't have to know the exact creature or whatnot that we share with the other apes in the ape family. We don't have to exactly know that in order to say that it does exist, because that's how it works.
It's quite embarrassing if you ask me.
No, this video is quite embarrassing.
I actually have on GTV right now. You can go to my channel right now on GTV. And the very first video I show you on this Google Hangout that I do regarding macroevolution is a scientist admitting that he doesn't know, nor does he understand what macroevolution is. Wait till you hear what his field is and what he does for a living. He understands variations within the kinds, but he doesn't understand macroevolution. But yet, I get people with no biological degrees who don't have any kind of degrees whatsoever coming over here. Well, that's not how evolution works, G-Man. That's not how it works, G-Man. That's not how it works, G-Man.
But it's not how it works, G-Man. And I don't know exactly who you're talking about there, but if they have a degree in that field or whatnot, and they don't know how macroevolution works, I'm a bit skeptical of that fact. I would really have to see it. I would also have to see a list of these secular scholars and scientists that disagree with evolution. I know that they are out there, but I'm kind of wondering who you're citing here. But for the most part, the scientists or whatnot that I've heard question evolution and whether evolution's a real thing, like biology and all of that, hasn't been their primary field. They just using their own scientific senses, I guess. They say that it's bunk. If you're going to be disproving evolution, I think that you would need to be able to write a paper about it and put it through the academic journals, put it through peer review, put it through all of these academic standards to get it out there. That's what I would think that you would need to do. Not go on a YouTube channel or in a YouTube hangout and do it there. I'm fairly certain that you could win a Nobel Prize if you were able to actually disprove evolution.
To me, it's just embarrassing. You guys can get on Christians about us having like 5,000 different denominations, but then you can't talk about the many denominations that you got regarding evolution.
Evolution doesn't have denominations at all. We don't all have to agree on what the common ancestor is. That doesn't make us different denominations. That just sounds stupid saying it.
None of you agree on what the common ancestor is. One of you guys will say that it's blue-green algae. Another one will tell you that it's a Tiktaalik creature. Then some of you will say it's a single-cell organism. You guys can't make your mind up what the heck the first living organism was. You think you know what it is with your educated guesses or your beliefs, But you don't have any scientific evidence.
Well, I mean, true, we don't know exactly what the first organism was, but that doesn't mean that evolution in general is false. I mean, we will know. I'm sure as soon as we can do more research and all that other stuff, maybe we'll never know. But it's pretty clear from observable evidence, from the fossil record and everything, that we did evolve over a long period of time through natural selection, and that implies a single first organism.
Not to mention, I think just about all of us know now that the scientific method disproves macroevolution, since you can't test it and repeat it over and over and over again. Please don't come in with the fruit flies. It's the funniest joke going on in the internet today, because fruit flies are still fruit flies. That's what I believe. I believe in micro. I believe in microevolution.
You said you believed in macro. You can't take it back now, bro. Can't take it back. You believe in macroevolution. Headlines: GMan believes macroevolution. But also microevolution, total bullshit term. Creationists made it up in order so that they can agree that small changes exist. Just that, they want to deny that small changes over a long period of time can actually change an organism into not that organism. It's a cop-out.
I believe that bananas are always going to be bananas. You, because you believe in macro, believe that eventually, if these things grow enough, maybe on some different soil, at some point, this banana is going to look so different that it's not going to be a banana no more.
Actually, right now, that banana that you're holding is quite different from how bananas began. Through artificial selection, we've been able to evolve bananas into the very nutritious things that we see today. I think that given enough time, if we were to meddle more in artificial selection or anything like that, we could most definitely turn a banana into not a banana. I know that's kind of confusing to you, because you're going to turn that around and say that I think that a banana will birth a baby at some point. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that given enough time, we could create a whole new organism, whole new fruit derived from a banana. It's not like it hasn't been done before.
Go figure. Then you're going to claim that whatever that new banana feature is one of your distant relatives without giving us a shred of evidence to prove it.
We have massive amounts of evidence. Just you saying it on a YouTube video doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Banana, I think it's about time we took a DNA test.
Oh, this should be awesome.
To see whether or not me and you have any relation with each other. What do you think? You think I should do a DNA test with this banana?
I think he's about to pull an amazing atheist and shove that banana up his ass.
Or do you think I should do a DNA test with this orange? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it's my relative, our DNA should match, right?
That doesn't mean it should go up your ass there, G-Man.
Pretty sure I'll produce an orange one day, right? Give it enough time. I mean, we don't need trillions of years. Maybe we can give them 100 trillion years or whatever.
God damn it, G-Man. Phrasing, G-Man, phrasing.
A cotillion years. And maybe one day, us human beings will produce an orange. Who knows? Or something better than an orange. Something more tasty than an orange.
That's not how evolution works. It's not. For one thing, humans and vegetables and fruits and all of that, from vegetation in general, diverged a while back, like before Tiktaalik and all that. Like we diverged from them a long time ago there, bud. It's not like humans are one day going to birth an orange. Now I see why people call you dumb, idiotic, and just plain not even ignorant. Ignorant is way too good of a word. It really is. Like, it doesn't even go to explain the type of stupidity you're suffering from. You're willfully ignorant. And I would classify that as dumb as fuck.
Not to mention, if I was really related to this, I would be guilty of cannibalism according to the scripture.
Oh, goddamn, there's that banana again. That banana's about to have a rough night.
So, if this was really one of my relatives, so I'm going to put that out there, guys. Read your Bible and do what it says. God bless.
Yeah, that's right, heathens. Stone them homosexuals. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed today. I kind of enjoyed it. I don't know. He's been going on this rant recently about macroevolution, and it's ridiculous, and it's just so far out there. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please leave a like if you can. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about G-Man and his crusade against macroevolution. And I guess I will see you heathens later. Don't forget, it's very important to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.